Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results, birthdays, and some other news, tough enough and what have you. Superstars matches. Well, the advertised dark main event of Raw was advertised from the website. John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Kane and Kevin Owens in six-man tag action. Happy birthday would have been to Brad Armstrong, a.k.a. Robert James, born June 15, 1962, died November 1st, 2012, at the age of 50 of undisclosed causes. He's the son of Bob Armstrong and the brother of Steve Armstrong, WWE referee Scott Armstrong, and, of course, the road dog, Brian James. Scott Flash Norton turned 54. He was born June 15, 1961. Scott was a professional arm wrestler who transitioned into pro wrestling and was trained by Brad Renegans. Happy birthday to Dick Murdoch, take it back, who died on June 15, 1996 of a heart attack at the age of 49. Also, Scary Sherry Martell, real name Sherry Russell Skrull, died on June 15, 2007, died of an overdose on multiple prescription drugs at the age of 49. Jacques Rougeau turned 55 on Saturday. He was born June 13, 1960. Alicia Fox will be appearing on an upcoming episode of Sci-Fi's Dominion. She is in Cleveland studio working on her appearance. No word yet on when her episode will air, but the new season begins in July. She tweeted the following on Monday, putting final touches to hashtag Dominion crew at Lava Room, at Siebert, at Brad Pewitt, hashtag WWE Cleveland, at Vaughn Wilmot, at Darren Serafian. USA and WWE, the USA Network and WWE have announced the final 13 competitors for the high-octane reality series WWE Tough Enough, premiering live this coming Tuesday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, on USA Network around the world. The cast was chosen from more than 11,100 submissions from 113 countries. 40 finalists attended tryouts this week at the WWE Performance Center on Wednesday all the way through Friday from Orlando, Florida, with only 13 making the final cut. Tough Enough Competition Special. An inside look at last week's tryouts will premiere on WWE Network Tuesday, June 16th at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. Will also air on USA Network from Thursday, June 18th at 10 p.m. 9 Central. And the final 13 contestants are, may I get their names correctly, Mada Abdelhamid from Los Angeles, California. Hank Avery Jr. from Macon, Georgia. Daria Berenato from Los Angeles, California. Joshua Brettel from Thornton, Colorado. Gabby Castrovinci from Southington, Connecticut. Patrick Clark Jr. from Washington, D.C. Diana Dahlgren from Spokane, Washington. Alexander Frecky from Dallas, Texas. Sarah Lee, no, not the baker, Sarah Lee, from Hope, Michigan. Zamaria Zizi Laup from Bayou Boeuf. I hope I got that. That's here in Louisiana. Georgia Piskina from Brisbane, Australia. Amanda Sacamano from Yorktown Heights, New York. And to round out the final unlucky 13, Tanner Saraceno from Boiling Springs, South Carolina. For competitor photos, bios, and auditions, videos, you can go to WWE.com. Tough Enough. WWE Tough Enough is hosted by WWE superstar Chris Jericho, who will be joined by a panel of judges, including Hall of Famer, the Hulkster, WWE superstar Daniel Bryan, WWE Diva Paige, and this will be combined. This season will combine the can't-miss excitement of live television with reality show drama as WWE hopefuls vie for the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become the next WWE superstar or diva. Unlike anything on TV today, the lightning fast hour of entertainment and competition will include live results every week, giving fans worldwide the power to decide who stays and who goes the very same night. Every week, 3 judges will each nominate one competitor they believe should be cut, and it will be up to the WWE Universe to vote and determine who they feel is tough enough to remain in the competition. The competitor with the least number of votes will be eliminated throughout the season. Each judge will have the ability to save one competitor from being sent home. Ultimately, one man and one woman will be considered tough enough, with each earning a 1-year, $250,000 WWE contract. Each week, the competitors will be coached by WWE legend or legends Booker T, Billy Gunn, and Lita, and competitors will come face to face with WWE icons, including WWE Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Vince McMahon, Executive Officer Vice President, Executive Vice President, Talent, Live Events, and Creative Paul Triple H Levesque, and WWE Superstar John Cena, Big Show, Randy Orton, among others. The revolutionary WWE Tough Enough app is now available for download. The app will provide an unprecedented fan experience before, during, and after the show by enabling fans to vote for who stays and who goes, with results calculated in real time during the final minutes of each episode. The app will also include competitor bios and video and social updates as the competition unfolds throughout the week. Live fan report of Raw from June 15th. Jake Ramada attended Raw in Cleveland and posted the following report. Longtime buddy, and I got to the arena as the gates opened. It's our tradition to attend Raw when it comes to Cleveland. I have been to every WWE event in Cleveland since Unforgiven in 2008. We were on the camera side at the club level, so we could just see about everything. The show started with the Dusty Rhodes tribute, and they played to begin Money in the Bank, and the clip was played in front of the live crowd who paid tribute to the legend in a moment of silence. Then erupting in Dusty chants afterwards, Seth Rollins came out to his usual heat. Until he dropped Cleveland, this is what a title looks like. And certainly Johnny Idiot Face over there will never bring you a title. LeBron James isn't bringing a title back to Cleveland. That set the crowd off real good, and had him the reporter laughing. It was a solid heel promo from Rollins. Dean Ambrose came out and brawled with Rollins a bit. Got a big pop. Cleveland was hot for the Cincinnati native. The promo backstage between the Authority and Rollins foreshadowed Brock Lesnar coming back in a way, but I wasn't sure how exactly they were going to bring him back. It wasn't until we were told that Rollins' future would close the show and that I knew that the rumors could be true. Sheamus came out to a decent reaction. He drew some heat from the crowd, but nothing compared to Rollins' reaction to open the show. The match between him and Ambrose was pretty good, as Ambrose sold the knee injury from the Money in the Bank as well. The crowd booed Sheamus when he began to walk towards the back. Then Orton's music hit, and that woke Cleveland up. The crowd loved seeing Ambrose win, and we waited the RKO on Sheamus after the match, but he slipped away in just the nick of time. First hour or so of the show had the crowd pumped up to start this way too long 3-hour journey. R-Truth came to the ring with a positive reaction from the crowd, but the match he had with Barrett was a waste. Barrett shouldn't be involved with Truth, but it was something for the crowd to relax with after the hot start to start the show. Cleveland isn't a pro-Cena city, and it showed again tonight when the majority of the crowd cheered Kevin Owens. I'm a huge Owens supporter, and his promo on the action after his loss to Cena on Sunday was well delivered. There were kids all around us, and they were upset when Owens said Cena wasn't there tonight. As much as I wanted to sing John Cena Sucks, along with his music, I was glad to see Cena was selling Owens' attack. The match Owens had with Ziggler was the best match of the night. They had plenty of believable falls near the end of the match. And the want for the hometown favorite to get the win over the arrogant champion was shown from the crowd. Ziggler always gets a huge ovation when he comes to Cleveland, since he went to Kent State and openly expresses his love for the city. Both guys worked hard and got the well-deserved reaction from the crowd. Promo with Paige and the diva in the back didn't get a reaction. Divas in the back did not get a reaction, but are you surprised? Randy Orton's music hit once again, and Cleveland showed him some love. His match with Kane was middle of the road, and once Sheamus' music hit, I knew that was coming next. Kane made it a no-holds-barred match, which allowed Sheamus to nail the brogue kick on Orton and help Kane pin the Viper. Cleveland didn't like the outcome, but it puts heat on Sheamus and moves the program further. Ryback came out to a positive reaction from the crowd, while Big Show drew some boos. If you thought you heard the crowd cheer for The Miz, you heard correctly. Cleveland is the only place where you'll hear Miz get cheered. Unless he bashes it in a promo like he's done in the past. If you're from Cleveland and on TV regularly doing subpar things, I guess we're forced to like you. We'll take all that we can get sometimes. The Reigns Wyatt promo was all right. Sometimes I feel like we see too much of Wyatt on the Titantron. Promo would have been much more captivating face to face, but that's not how Wyatt works. Reigns did get a nice reaction from the fans, and he made his move very clear. Once Wyatt brought out a picture of Reigns and his daughter, that caught the crowd's attention. It felt more personal, and it was a minor hook to their program. For a diva, Paige came out to a reaction, but as always, the reactions for her could be better. She's the best diva in the locker room. It's just the booking doesn't treat her like it. The Bellas got some heat, though. I think that means they're finally healed. Jason Powell, other than the entrance, the match was a snooze for most fans. Machine Gun Kelly performance was mostly for the adult fans at the queue. And since he's from Cleveland, it worked for most of us, but I'm sure the TV audience could care less since he's not all that mainstream. The reporter follows Machine Gun Kelly, so I didn't mind his performance. But when Kevin Owens came out and powerbombed him through the table off the stage, that made my night. To see my current favorite wrestler, an artist I follow, through a table off stage, I couldn't believe it, and that led the reporter to laugh because he enjoyed it. The queue was shocked with what they saw. I believe my friend and I were the only ones in our section to go wild for it. Kudos for Machine Gun Kelly for taking the bump and giving more heat to Owens. New Day sucks chant are fun for the first couple of times around, and Cleveland ate that up. Both Neville and the primetime players came out to an even reaction. Surprisingly, I wasn't expecting the players to get as much as they did. Neville hit the red arrow to make our day. And because honestly, that's all we really wanted to see. Rumors were swirling about Brock Lesnar's return, and I just couldn't wait for it to finally happen. The whole promo between the Authority and Seth Rollins seemed to last years because we all knew Lesnar was behind the curtain. Once his music hit, the place went nuts. Seeing Lesnar sport a Suplex City shirt with Cleveland, Ohio on the front of it was special. That t-shirt will make money if they customize it with every city he appears at. It was a great way to close the show because the crowd swallowed the moment and gave Lesnar the ovation of the night. I'm excited to see where they go with Lesnar's redemption from here. Supposedly, babyface this time, as Lesnar by SummerSlam is supposed to face Seth Rollins. So there's your spoiler. SummerSlam, Seth Rollins versus Lesnar. Overall, the show started hot. The middle was kind of lagged. Lesnar's appearance made it worse with the wait. Because, come on, who doesn't love seeing the pair of Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar in person? And it said biggest pops, Lesnar, Orton, and Ambrose. Heat, Rollins, Owens, and New Day. And a report from Rada for Raw and Cleveland for Superstars taping. Cesaro defeated Bo Dallas by submission. And Cesaro used the sharpshooter for the win. Match number 2, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan defeated Los Matadors and Ascension in a triple threat tag match. And Raw kicks off for Cleveland with Michael Cole, JBL, and Byron Saxon on commentary. We get a graphic in memory of Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes. They replay the 10-bell salute with Vince McMahon and the WWE roster from the Money in the Bank last night. They also aired Dusty tribute video from last night. We come back out in the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins by himself. Rollins is all smiles as he has his title back. He laughs in the ring as we go to commercial. Back from the break, we see Johnny Manziel at ringside wearing a Miz t-shirt. Rollins is in the ring and he welcomes us to Monday Night Rollins. Rollins talks about Money in the Bank and says Dean Ambrose bought his A game, but it wasn't as good as his. Rollins calls it one of the greatest ladder matches in WWE history. Rollins says it takes an incredible team to get him to the top, and he had to control his emotions last night when thinking about everyone who had helped him. And Rollins says he's a first-class team player and wants to acknowledge all the people who helped him get where he is. And, of course, he says, Rollins says he's just a kid from Davenport, Iowa. He pulls out a list of names, but the fans boo. Rollins just thanks himself a bunch of times. And last but certainly not least, Seth Rollins thanks himself again. Rollins asks who else? Who else could he thank? Certainly not a Dumb and Dumber, a.k.a. Double J Security. He certainly wouldn't thank the devil's favorite dinosaur, Kane. He said he didn't even need Triple H or Stephanie McMahon because that's how good he is. Rollins says he might as well punch his ticket to the Hall of Fame after the performance last night. Rollins says his parents will be naming their kids after him as Rollins knocks Cleveland and calls Manziel Johnny Idiot Face, saying he will never bring a title to Cleveland and LeBron James won't be bringing it back either. As the fans boo, the music hits and out comes Dean Ambrose to a pop. They met on the ramp and they go at it to fight back in the ring, and Ambrose sends Rollins out to the other side and gets a big pop. He follows, but Rollins goes for the injured knee and takes control. And they end up on top of the announce table, and Ambrose turns it around, leaps off, and brings the fight back in the ring, but Rollins retreats with his title and fans boo. Ambrose brings in a mic and a steel chair in the ring. He says the title may have slipped from his fingers last night, but Rollins running his mouth tonight reminds him of how much he's enjoyed making Rollins' life a living hell, and Ambrose doesn't want it to end. Ambrose says he's going to take a seat and not leave the ring until Rollins gets back out as they go to commercial. Back from the break, Ambrose still sitting in the middle of the ring. Rollins approaches Triple H and Stephanie backstage. Triple H says it's being taken care of. Rollins says he hopes so because this is his title and his show. Stephanie says that they heard Rollins say he doesn't need them. Rollins denies it, and Triple H says it sounds like he's calling Stephanie a liar. Rollins says that there are three of them. Of them are what's best for business. He wants to get Ambrose ejected from the building and move on to what's next. Triple H says that they were discussing Rollins' next opponent, and the decision will be made before the end of the night. Rollins asks if he gets a say in that because he's a champ, but he doesn't. We go to the ring, and Ambrose is still out there. And out comes Sheamus to his new Money in the Bank briefcase. Sheamus calls himself a winner and Ambrose a loser. He talks about becoming Mr. Money in the Bank and raises the briefcase as the fans boo. Sheamus says he's one broke kick away from becoming the next World Heavyweight Champion and says it may happen tonight. He says the Authority thought it would be great if he came out and kicked Ambrose's head off. Ambrose tosses a chair. We've got a match. Bell rings and Sheamus grabs the injured leg, taking Ambrose to the corner. Ambrose struggles, but Sheamus takes him down and works on the leg. Sheamus goes back to the corner to more focus on the knee. And Ambrose fights back, but Sheamus cuts him off and unloads. Sheamus slams the leg on the apron and pulls Ambrose to the floor. Sheamus works Ambrose over and rams him into the steel steps as referee counts. Sheamus brings him back in the ring, but Ambrose pounces on him. Ambrose with a forearm in the corner, and then Sheamus blocks a bulldog, sends Ambrose out of the ring with a big knee, and we get another commercial back from the break. Sheamus still in control of Ambrose, working on the leg. During the break, Ambrose dove out of the ring, but landed on his knee also. Ambrose fought out of a leg hold, unloaded with punches and chops against the ropes, but Sheamus chops the knee. Sheamus goes for a clover leaf, but Ambrose fought it off. Sheamus got sent to the floor, but runs right back in. Ambrose catches him with a swinging backbreaker. Ambrose keeps control and hits a bulldog. Ambrose goes to the top, and Sheamus cuts him off. Sheamus with a rolling senton. He goes for the clover leaf and locks it in. Ambrose finally makes it to the rope and breaks the hold. Sheamus with forearms on the apron. Ambrose turns it around and hits the forearms of his own. Ambrose ducks a brogue kick and rocks him. Ambrose with an elbow drop from the top for a close 2 count. Sheamus goes back to the leg and hits a high knee, but Ambrose hits the big bounce back. Clothesline. Sheamus avoids dirty deeds and rolls to the floor as the fans boo. Sheamus grabs his briefcase and starts walking away. Randy Orton's music out. Hits it out. He comes. Ambrose hits the distracted Sheamus from behind and brings him back into the ring. Ambrose ducks a brogue and rolls Sheamus up for the win. After the win, Orton hits the ring and attacks Sheamus, but Sheamus retreats. Orton stays on him and catches him at the barrier. Orton unloads and sends him into the ring post. Sheamus continues trying to run away, but Orton caught him, brought him in the ring, hits the second rope, draping DDT. Orton ready for the RKO, but Sheamus blocked it and retreated to the back with the briefcase. Rollins is backstage with Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble, Double J Security, as they walk up. He disses them and says he's willing to bring them back on board if they have any inside information on who his next opponent might be. Noble says they don't, but they did. They still wouldn't tell him. Noble says it should be who pinned Rollins last week. Mercury. Rollins laughs it off. And Mercury says Rollins is afraid of him. Mercury yells at Rollins and rubs loss in. Mercury says it's just a matter of when Rollins loses the title now. Colesall talks about Dusty Rhodes and says we will celebrate his life tonight. We get a video package of Dusty winning the NWA World Heavyweight title from Harley Race. Then they plug the WWE Network special following Raw. It will be hosted by Jerry King Lawler. Back to commercial. R-Truth versus King Barrett. Back from the break, and out comes R-Truth with his own version of the Royal Road. Truth makes his way to commentary and can't wait to see who the opponent for King Barrett is. Barrett makes his way out, and JBL informs Truth that he's the one in the match. Truth goes in the ring, and we get the bell. Barrett immediately nails him with a big boot and mounts Truth with strikes. Barrett stands up and readies for the bullhammer, but Truth rolls him up for the win. After the bell, Barrett comes right back with a bullhammer and beats Truth up. Barrett cuts a promo on how he earned the right to be called King. Machine Gun Kelly backstage with Fandango, Zack Ryder, Heath Slater, Summer Rae, Emma, and Alicia Fox. The others are embarrassed by Slater and act like they don't know him. Paige walks up and needs to have a meeting with the Diva soon. Still to come segment, NXT Champion Kevin Owens back to commercial. Back from the break, and out comes NXT Champion Kevin Owens. Colesall says John Cena is suffering from back spasms, contusions, and bruisings due to the apron powerbomb at Money in the Bank. Owens says Cena is not here tonight, and it's Cena's own fault. Owens says he did play a part in what happened to Cena, but Cena forced him to do that. Owens says when they shook hands after the match, Cena said something that was one of the most disrespectful things he's heard in his career. You belong here. You belong in front of these people. Owens says he's known that since the second he stepped in foot of stepped foot in the WWE ring. Owens gets some cheers and says he doesn't need Cena to tell him he belongs and doesn't need the endorsement. Owens says he wants a rematch, but this time he wants the U.S. title. Owens says this is usually the time Cena's music would hit. He come to the ring and issue an open challenge, but that's not happening tonight. Owens issues an open challenge for the NXT title. Instead, the music hits and out comes Dolph Ziggler with Lana, who kisses him before going to the back. So we get Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. Ziggler takes the mic and says, Owens just made his night. Ziggler says he's not here to defend Cena and never will, but Owens has a lot of guts talking about sacrifice. Ziggler talks about how he's scratched a cloud as has the city of Cleveland for a championship, so he's going to give them one right now. Ziggler accepts the challenge, and we get formal introductions from Lillian Garcia, but Owens interrupts. He says he never said anything about the title being on the line. He will fight Ziggler, but it's a non-title. The bell hits and Ziggler unloads. Owens cuts him off and tosses him out of the ring for your first commercial break. Back from the break, Owens is still in control. Ziggler finally nails a big clothesline and they both tumble over the top rope. Owens nails the forearm to the head. Owens sends Ziggler flying towards the timekeeper area and goes back in the ring as the referee counts. Ziggler barely made it back in by the 10 count, but Owens misses the senton. Ziggler hits the DDT, and Owens is on the floor as we go to a second commercial during the match. Back from the break, Owens is back in control on Ziggler on the mat. They go at it, and Ziggler blocks the cannonball with a super kick. Ziggler gets a 2 count. Ziggler goes for the famouser, but Owens catches him with a powerbomb. Ziggler counters for a 2 count. Ziggler hits a famouser for a 2 count again. Ziggler charges in the corner but misses. Owens launches Ziggler with a huge German suplex and hits the cannonball in the corner. Owens gets a 2 count. Ziggler blocks a pop-up powerbomb and hits a zigzag for a 2 count. Owens nails the kick and hits a super kick. Owens catches Ziggler with a pop-up powerbomb for the win. After the match, Owens calls for his title and raises it as we go to replays. Owens taunts obscene fans at ringside before making his way to the back. Emma, Layla, Rosa Mendez, Summer Rae, and Alicia Fox are all backstage. Paige walks in and thanks them for coming on short notice. She gathered them because they need to take a stand against the Bella twins. Summer asks if this is because Paige lost again to Nikki last night. Paige says, yeah, that sucks, but it's not about that. It's about them standing together. Alicia asks how they're supposed to trust Paige because she turned on her partners in the past. Naomi and Tamina Snuka come in. Naomi doesn't like the Bellas either, but she's not going to let Paige boss her around. Paige reveals that she challenged the Bellas to a handicap match tonight and asks who's coming with her. The Bella twins walk in, and Nikki brags about being the Divas champion since helping Stephanie win at SummerSlam last year. Nikki tells the others that they can side with Paige if they want, but they all start walking away. Paige walks off alone as the Bellas mock her. Next up, we get Randy Orton versus Kane. We go to the ring. Out comes Randy Orton to a pop. Then we get a look back at the Money in the Bank as Orton poses as we go to commercial. Back from the break, out comes Kane. The bell rings and they go at it. Orton back to Kane in the corner, but the referee backs him off. Kane walks Orton and hits a big boot for a 2 count. More back and forth action. Kane hits a side stand for a 2. Kane with a clothesline in the corner and a stomp. Orton finally makes a comeback to a pop. Orton runs into an elbow and hits a power slam. Kane rolls to the apron and Orton goes for the draping DDT, but the music of Sheamus hits. Out he comes with a briefcase to distract Orton. Kane takes a mic and announces that the rest of this match will be no holds barred. Sheamus hits the ring and brawls with Orton. Sheamus nails a bro kick, allowing Kane to cover for the win. And then we come back for replays, and Sheamus is standing over Orton with the briefcase raised. Kane is walking backstage when Rollins approaches. Rollins says Kane may have his biggest doubter. Rollins says his success physically pains Kane because it reminds him of what he used to be, a champion, a winner, someone to be feared of. Kane says anyone can win one match, but if you want to be the future of WWE, you have to win every match, night after night. And it takes an entire team behind you to do that. Kane says no one can do it on their own. Rollins says he can. He did it and will continue to do so. Rollins brings up Paul Bearer and The Undertaker. Kane grabs him by his collar and gets upset. Kane says he will eviscerate Rollins if he ever brings up his family again. Rollins fires back and hopes Kane is named as his next opponent as Rollins calls Kane sad and says he needs to be put out of his misery. Rollins leaves as we go to another commercial break. Back from the commercial break, we get a Dusty Rhodes package video. Next up, we got Miz versus Big Show. Intercontinental Champion. Ryback was out first for commentary. Miz and Big Show out next. Miz stalls and makes Show chase him out first. Show chases him in and sells a knee injury, but was just suckering Miz in. Show grabbed him for a big chop. And Show took Miz to the corner for another big chop and then another. They go to the floor and Show continued the attack. Show grabbed Miz and tosses him onto Ryback. They have words and Miz rolls back in the ring to get the win by countout. Big Show come back in the ring, but Miz ran away and taunted him. Fans chant "Feed me more" as Ryback rushes the ring from behind. Show retreated just in time as the Miz is announced the winner and starts celebrating on stage. Back from the break, out comes Roman Reigns to the crowd. Reigns takes the mic and says last night was bad and he didn't get much sleep and had a long day, so he's pissed off. He doesn't want to wait until Battleground. He wants Bray Wyatt tonight and calls him to the ring. The graphic flashes and Wyatt appears on the big screen. Wyatt starts talking, but Reigns tells him to shut up and come fight. Wyatt laughs at him and says it's good to see Reigns also. Wyatt says he should have been the one climbing the ladder to grab his destiny last night, but 2 weeks ago, Reigns stole his opportunity. Wyatt says he could have been the beacon of light the world needs, but Reigns denied him. Wyatt goes on and says he will destroy Reigns, but not tonight. Wyatt asks what kind of example they'd be setting with Father's Day right around the corner. Wyatt has a photo of Reigns and his daughter from the fatherhood.org PSA, public service announcement. And Wyatt tells Reigns to have patience because the fun is just getting started. Wyatt tells him to run as we go to commercial. Handicap match, Paige versus Bella Twins. We're going to ring out comes Paige by herself. Diva champion Nikki is out next with her partner, Brie Bella. As Brie starts off for her team, they tangle up, and in comes Nikki. Tries to stall, but Paige tackles her and goes at it. Paige with her pin attempt before knocking Brie off the apron. Paige with a bunch of knees to Nikki on the apron. Paige screams but gets knocked down by Brie. Nikki brings her back in for a 2 count. Brie comes in, tags in, and keeps Paige grounded. Paige tries to fight back, but Brie unloaded it for a 2 count. Nikki comes in for double teaming and scores another 2 count. Nikki with more offense and the scissors on the mat. Nikki rolls around with the scissors and keeps it locked. She breaks it and tags in Brie for more double teaming, but it backfires and they run into each other. Paige dodged Brie in the corner and hit her with a knee. Paige with knees to the head. Brie got shoved into Nikki, sending her off the apron. Paige with a rampage on Brie for a close 2 count, but Nikki broke up the pin. Nikki sent Paige to the corner and tags in, and leveled Paige with a big forearm and hit the rack attack for the win. Back from the break. After the match, we get performance from rapper Machine Gun Kelly. After the performance, Kevin Owens comes out and doesn't look happy. Owens ends up kicking Machine Gun Kelly and powerbombing him off the stage. Referees order Owens backstage. Trainers and referees rush over, but Machine Gun Kelly got up. It looks like his people rush him off while trainers want to check on him. Goes on leads us into replays as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial, we see what just happened with Owens and Machine Gun Kelly. And we get a clip from the new Terminator movie also. I'll be back. Returns. Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The New Day versus Neville and the Primetime Players is up next. We go to the ring as Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E don't seem upset about losing the titles. Neville is out next, followed by his partners, the new tag team champions, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, as Young and Woods are going to start off the match. Woods took control, but Young come back with an atomic drop and a neck breaker. Kofi tags in, but has issues with his taped up ribs, but tags Woods back in. Young drops Woods and tags in Titus for some double teaming. Kofi runs in, but Titus manhandled him. Big E comes in and Titus dumped him to the floor. Neville runs the ropes to leap out onto Kofi and Big E as Neville stands tall with PTP in the ring as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Woods is in control of the match. Kofi comes in and keeps up the attack. Kofi flies off the top with an axe handle for a 2 count. Titus ended up getting knocked off the apron with a cheap shot. Young tagged in Neville, and he unloaded on Woods. Neville knocked off Kofi and Big E off the apron at the same time. Neville countered for a German suplex from Woods and dropped him with a big boot. Neville went for the red arrow, but has to jump on the apron as Kofi approaches. And Titus knocked Kofi off the apron. Titus takes Big E out also. Woods nails a close 2 count on Neville. Kofi tagged in, kicked Young out of the ring. Neville countered a move from Kofi and tagged in Young. Young dropped Kofi's taped ribs over his knee and tagged in Neville back in for the red arrow. Neville nailed it for the win, and your 6-man tag winners, Neville and the Primetime Players. After the match, replays of with Neville and celebrated with the champions. Ambrose and Kane were backstage talking about WWE World Heavyweight title. Ambrose mocked Kane. Ambrose says he needs the title and will never stop until he gets it. That's what he That's what he lives for. He asked Kane what he lives for because before walking off, it was he, Triple H, and Stephanie walking as we go to commercial. We get another Dusty Rhodes video package and a plug for tonight's WWE Network special. We go to the ring and out comes Triple H with Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie apologizes for Kevin Owens' actions against Machine Gun Kelly and says actions will be taken because what's best for business. They talk about the next opponent for Seth Rollins. Triple H says it won't be Double J Security, it won't be Kane, it won't be Dean Ambrose, which fans boo. Stephanie asks who will it be, but the music hits and out comes the World Heavyweight Champion. Rollins says it doesn't matter who they pick because they have been right about him all along. There's nobody on the corner capable of taking the title from him. Rollins says he's going to beat and embarrass whoever this opponent is, making them proud. We get more back and forth on the mic. Stephanie says Rollins may still have little left to prove. Triple H talks about Rollins being an investment and wondering if he's worth it. Triple H asks if Rollins will crumble under pressure or if he will become the diamond that they've invested in. Triple H says that the pressure is on. The music hits and out comes Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman to a huge pop. Lesnar approaches the ring and stares at Rollins before entering the ring. Heyman and Triple H shake hands. Lesnar and Rollins stare each other down as a Suplex City chant started up. Lesnar gets closer in Rollins' face, and Rollins looks a bit scared. Everyone else has already left the ring. Rollins backs up as Lesnar steps closer. Fans boo as Rollins leaves the ring. Lesnar looks on, as does Heyman and the Authority. Rollins makes his exit as Raw goes off the air with Lesnar looking on as his music plays. And the same reporter passed along the Raw in Cleveland, Ohio for what happened after Raw went off the air. Roman Reigns, Ryback, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton defeated Big Show, Bray Wyatt, Sheamus, and Seth Rollins. Reigns and Wyatt battled all the way to the back and never returned, basically making it a six-man tag match. Big Show worked on Dean Ambrose most of the match until he tagged in Randy Orton. And Big Show tagged Sheamus. The crowd was hot for Orton since we saw him take a loss on TV to Kane with the help of Sheamus. Ryback took Rollins out, who interfered with Orton and Sheamus. Then Big Show stepped in to chokeslam Ryback. Dean Ambrose hopped off the top rope and elbowed Big Show, which helped Orton gain momentum on Sheamus. And he nailed the RKO for the hot crowd and got the pin. Orton, Ambrose, and Ryback signed autographs at ringside until Lillian Garcia sent us home. And then they advertised that Raw will be back in Cleveland Saturday, September 26th. So it won't be Monday Night Raw event. Okay, and that concludes my Monday Night Raw results, along with Superstars. And thanks again. Peace out. God bless. Thanks for watching. See you one of my videos. And if you didn't know, you better call me, bro.